Eric Rains broadcasting from, well, we'll call it snowy Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Music Fest 2025. It's final day. Honored to have Pat Green up here with us.
Eric, it's great to see you too, man. And it has been a snowy morning. It's kind of the snow around here is so different than in other places in Colorado. It's like they call it champagne snow. It's because the flakes are so tiny.
Yeah,
and that's what makes the powder special here. We've been coming here, my wife and I, for 20 years. Love it here.
How many of these music fests?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's tiring.
Yeah.
First time I came here was for
John told me about
yeah,
one.
it was for food and a room.
Yeah.
And not even, maybe a twin bed.
Yeah, I had, because the first time I came here, I had the exact same experience.
Yeah.
I was,
Do you remember Dante's?
yeah,
The downstairs bar where they had you spin the wheel and, shots were,
right.
You might get a penny shot, but, whatever. But, it was like Wheel of Fortune for drunks. But a great time.
I was supposed to do interviews all week. I was supposed to do the morning show, and I was supposed to be on stage all week doing announcements. I didn't make any of it.
Most of the time I was asleep too.
I got a hotel and food, and I knew John Dixon would never ever invite me back, and here we are, all these years later. So
25 years later. Yeah.
Thank you for coming in for another reason, because it's game day. You're actually playing the outdoor stage today.
I am.
So
Jazzed about that. I love playing out there. I have fake front teeth because I got them all knocked out in a bad wreck, and the top lip sticks to fake teeth.
Well, it's because first of all, I have the same fake teeth.
I'm not kidding, man. Like it's trying to, and then you end up singing with a lisp. But
yeah, because your mouth is so dry up here.
Yeah, exactly.
Last night you did Songs We Wish We'd Written with Corey Morrow.
Fun time, great time.
Way up on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I would have gone 30 more minutes if they hadn't cut me off. That was one of my favorite shows of my life. I truly enjoyed that.
I knew Corey was looking forward to it, bringing back memories, talking about the old times. And then I was just sitting this morning like, what am I going to talk to Pat about? And then first thing I thought of is where you and I usually go, is talking about our kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Because my son is going to tech now. He's 20 years old right now.
Best 10 years of my life.
And he's in a band. I know our kids are about the same age.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting, about the same time, about that age is when you, Corey, were starting to get rolling.
That was the whole story last night. It was the storyline of the whole night. It was me and him talking about how we introduced music to each other. And like, he was the first guy I ever wrote songs with. He was the first guy I ever learned songs with. Like, he taught me so much about the guitar and performance as well. He's still a more bombastic performer than I am. I'm pretty loud, but he really, every song's 10 minutes. So, and I love him for that. But it was the night last night was a walk through of our college years, and that's what made it so much fun.
Can you? I think I've asked you this question before, but we're farther down the road. Can you look at the path that you and Corey? And you see some of these younger kids now that, and we can say Robert Earl, and we can go back to Jerry Jeff, and we can.
And that's real. Those are real names that really influenced us.
Right. But you guys opened the door for some of these younger cats now that looked up, and when I'm hearing the Flatland Cavalry talking about old school and their name dropping Pat School.
I think that, some people say, hey, the door was open and you walked through it. What I would really say is that we opened a different door.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, my respect for Jerry Jeff Walker and all he's done for my life is truly one of my greatest friends. But we walked through a different door, and we walked through it with guys like Django and Randy Rogers and Roger Krager and Kevin Fowler and all these. It was it was the next bunch. And I kind of always reference Paul Simon and say, his line, every generation sends a hero up the pop charts. And that's really, mark that. That's really what we got to be. We were the next generation.
Yeah, and stay there for a while, and continue to have those fans out there.
Oh, it's a blast, man.
Yeah,
you can sit there holding Bree Bagwell's pick in my hand. I mean, for crying out loud, there, the door is still open.
Yeah, Obviously, you still enjoy getting out there playing. What excites you to get up on stage on a daily basis?
Man, there's nothing like the first 3 minutes where I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm scared to.
Right.
I'm totally scared.
What
to
kind of
death.
night is this going to be?
Yeah, what's it going to be? Am I going to be able to keep control?
Have I won them over before I even played, or am I going to have to
Man,
win
it's
them?
just one of those things you never know, and I mean, it's like, yeah, I wake up and I'm normal me. I'm dad. I'm husband. I'm the guy that takes the trash out, and then 10 minutes before I go on stage, I'm pacing, and my brain is going a million miles an hour, and I don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's really awful. But I really don't care. I've canceled 6 shows in my life, did a injury and weather. And dude, I don't really care. Fair or foul, I'm going to be there.
Right.
Love
it. Pat Green hanging out with us up here in the Deep Eddy Vodka Media Lounge. You got that?
That's perfect for me. It's itching a spot.
Got that incredibly beautiful guitar, by the way. You mind playing one?
Yeah,
for
Dusty Gregg built this guitar. He's a guy from Denton, and it's a Cowood guitar, and it's like, I mean, I like really loud guitars,
yeah,
and I call them cannons, and this thing just explodes when you play it. So anyway, we were hanging out last night with Walt Wilkins, and
love that guy,
and my mentor, and I wrote this song with him, and he truly is the guy that, Corey and I started playing our first songs together, but Walt was the one that made me explore outside the lines for me, and this was the first one that I felt like was a pretty good song. Maybe just a little bit tired of the city. Billboards and BS got her down. Seem like you need a little hill country, yeah. A little back roads driving, a little bit of old top down. And everybody gotta get away sometime. Forget about yourself for a while. Seemed to me that all you need, a ragtop car and a ride with me, okay? Alright, just might get a little high tonight. That's okay, Austin, Texas. Alright, carry on. Yeah, I know. Old Walt Wilkins lives back in Nashville. You know, his eyes have seen a mile. Hey, Walt, why don't you jump in Jim T's caddy? I'll come down to Texas and drink with me a while. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. And everybody gotta get away sometime. Forget about yourself for a while. We'll go down to El Arroyo, have some tacos and beer, baby, let ourselves go, okay? Alright, just might try to get it right tonight, that's okay. That's alright, carry on. It's too early to sing loud, by the way. Sorry. I like this part. Life will make sure that you got your trouble. And life will make sure that you work too hard. Ain't nobody that don't get tired of watching the troubles pile up big in your own backyard. Sometimes you gotta grab your world world with your own two hands. Set it spinning off on a course all your own. Take yourself a big bag for your shoulder. Just find yourself some good times and bring them on back home, home. And everybody gotta get away sometime. A little sloppy, but I'm there. Forget about yourself for a while. You live your whole life up there on that shelf. Got no one to blame but your own damn self. That's okay. Alright. Heaven only knows what's gonna happen tonight. That's okay, baby. It's alright. It's okay. It's alright. It's okay. Corey Green, you know it's okay because I love you. It's alright. Carry on. Ooh, a little out of tune. Mountain tuning. Feel like Joe Walsh.
Very good. Yeah.
There you go.
Woo. Pat Green. Love it, man.
With the Bree Bagwell pick that I'm going to pick up before I leave.
That sounded good too.
I threw it down just like because
it was like you were feeling it.
Hey, here's my song.
You threw it out to the crowd. I want to say thank you for coming up here. I know you're about to head to the stage.
No, we're good, man. I got all the time in the world. I'd rather talk to you than all those other people. I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the people that I work with.
Are you still doing your art and your sculpting and all that? Keep you busy.
Yeah, I sculpt more than I paint now. I found that metal and bronze is really kind of the medium that I like.
Yeah.
I can. Because you can be patient. Like if you paint something poorly, you have to paint over it, right? But if you sculpt, you can just add more clay.
It's interesting to me because early on when people were bringing this up, I think they thought you were joking about this. You've taken this as serious as you've taken your music.
Yeah, well, is it
therapy?
Idle hands
for you?
Idle hands for me.
Yeah, true.
Man, if I sit around and do nothing, I end up in the bottom of deep eddy. So I try to keep myself, moving and working, and now that I'm in my 50s, I found that music is still incredibly satisfying, and doing what I'm doing I don't think it's ever going to get boring. It's just it's the biggest part of me other than my family, and so just keep going through it.
You still get jacked writing, your writing process?
Man, we're writing right now. We've got 3 songs in the can that we're going to record next week down in Arlen at Austin.
Yeah.
At Arlen in Austin.
Yeah.
Fired up about that. We got one that we're about to write called My Best Days. Well, not about to write. We're kind of halfway through it. But yeah, it is still a challenge. The great challenge of any singer-songwriter is to make new stuff that is relevant to you.
Right. I like that. Not relevant to everybody else, relevant to you.
Right, because Radney Foster told me that a long time ago. Is if you don't tell the truth about yourself, it's never going to sell.
Right.
It sounds stupid. And that's when we started writing songs like 3 Days and Wave on Wave and, Baby Doll. And, songs that just kind of, I write songs about one girl. That's it.
You just spoke about her.
Yeah, it's just this one girl.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So still enjoying it. New music continuing to put out, and maybe an album sometime next year, or at least singles. Or album is different.
Albums are kind of gone, aren't they?
Right.
Really,
well,
Eric?
I never know. I still love to open up something and look at it.
I do too, but it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. I wish it wasn't. But consumption of music now has changed.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like I thought when the iPod and downloading music came on, we still were making records.
Yeah.
We till call it 2008 or 9. I think 9 was when Cannonball came out. That was 11 songs, and Home came out in 2012 or 14, whatever. We were still doing it, and then now unless you're Taylor Swift or somebody enormous,
Yeah.
they're not buying more than 2 or 3 songs at a time.
You mentioned Rodney Foster. He was the last person I spoke to about the album part of it, and he was like, and I was having conversations about Raining on Sunday. Keith Urban, he was like, that bought me a kitchen, but it's not buying the kitchens anymore because people don't consume an album, not even a greatest hit album. That's why he wrote a book and is now working on a movie.
I was
find
on
another
tour
hustle.
with Keith Urban when Raining on Sunday was the hit. And that was his line every time. I was like, he sat down in his kitchen for 10 minutes and wrote this, and he's like, and Keith was like, I can't do that. Only Radney can do that. And Radney is truly a prolific, gifted human being. And so to be even part of his world throughout my life has been a blessing.
You've been a blessing to us with the scene. I mean that. And rarely do you take that as a compliment. You're very humble about it. But knocking the door open.
My wife has told me to say these words exactly.
Yeah.
Those are very kind words. Thank you for saying that. And that's all I'm allowed to say. Because otherwise, I'm just saying, shut up.
I get that. I get that. I appreciate you coming up here today. I know you got to play a little later, and
I'm jazzed, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun today.
Is it hard to play up other than the teeth sticking to mine? Do it too. Mine were doing it during this interview.
It's very difficult
because it's cold out there. Clearly,
it's dry. It's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Your body needs water. Your vocal cords need water, and that's why when you're up here and you shout, it sounds all crackly. But
everyone's crackly up here.
Yeah,
everyone's
so
eyes
you just
kind of
let it go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's day 4.
Those dang eye drops aren't very good up here.
Clear eyes are not working quite like we used to.
But evidently, weed's legal, so they kind of fight with each other. Your eyes and weed. Yeah.
Love you, buddy. Thank you for coming up here.
Thanks, Eric. It's been a pleasure. I love being on the air with you. Always have.
Thank you, man. All the way around. It is Pat Green live right here with Austin's 95.9 Texas Country.
Yo.